Okay, now let's see how we can actually use shortcuts in Comet. And why have I been raving about them? Well, we're going to see. Now, whoever thought up the idea of using shortcuts in Comet really deserves a bonus because it's an incredible time saver. However, the way it's implemented leaves a little bit to be desired. I mean, once you get used to it, you get used to it and you know how to use it, but it's not obvious. Now, we can enter a shortcut here because it says ask anything, type ampersand for mentions, or the / for shortcuts. So we can enter a shortcut here, or we can enter a shortcut down here. Even though it doesn't say that we can do that, we actually can. Now, when we enter a /, we're going to get a little menu that says shortcuts. Okay, and these are all of the shortcuts that currently exist. Now, these are the shortcuts that actually were created for me. I didn't create any of these shortcuts. In fact, I have some shortcuts. I deleted them because I want to start over to show you how they work. But I did not remove the shortcuts that are there by default. And what's not obvious is, like, I don't really care about, I don't need a shortcut for both Twitter and X. That doesn't make any sense. In fact, I really don't need one here at all. But there's no obvious way to delete this. If I right click, well, there's nothing there to let me do that. Let me remove this. And so there's no menu here and at first when I was learning all of this, I was struggling with, well, how in the world are you supposed to delete a shortcut? Well, the way you do that, let's say I want to delete this Twitter one. So you see the icon here for edit. I'm going to click on that. And now you come here, but you still don't see any option. Why not just put a delete button here? But what they've done here is they put this little ellipses, which is a standard mechanism for basically telling you, hey, there's some menu options here. Now I see delete. Okay, so if you're like me and you're struggling on how to figure out, or if you're struggling trying to figure out how in the world do you delete a shortcut, well, this is the way you do it. So I'm going to say delete, and now my Twitter shortcut is gone, but my X should still be there, and it is. Okay, so now let me show you how I have created a shortcut to summarize a video exactly the way I want it. And we've actually done this in the lecture on summarizing YouTube videos. We kind of went through the same procedure, except though that we did not create a shortcut. Well, this time we are going to create a shortcut. Now this has been running for a while. This is my YouTube video that's 3.5 hours long. And what I want is to apply my common request to create an outline or a summarization with timestamps and links for any YouTube video. Now the problem is I can never remember exactly the way I want this worded to get to get exactly what I want. I could save it, but then I would never be able to figure out where I saved it, so it's just a hassle. Shortcuts makes this easy, but we first have to actually enter the command that we want associated with the shortcut. So I'm going to say generate an outline of the video with key points or ideas from the video along with timestamps for each key point. That might be 2 words. Key point or idea. And let's see, what else do I want here? Okay, and then I want a timestamp. So along with, or I want a link. So along with each timestamp, include a link to that point in the video. Okay, that's the command. Now you can see, obviously, that this is going to be, I'm not very good at memorizing things, and I'm certainly not going to be able to memorize this. And the thing is, with a prompt, with an AI prompt, if you get one word wrong, it may not generate the same thing that you're used to having it generate. So I want to make sure I use the same command every single time. So now, right now, we haven't created a shortcut. We've just created the command that's going to be associated with the shortcut. So I am going to execute this, and we've already gone through this. So I'm going to pause this until this is done. Okay, so now it's completed. Here is a structured outline of the video, and this is exactly what I want. I want timestamps. So if we come down here, for example, at the 1 hour, 20 minute, and 32 second mark, we have knowledge and working memory. And notice that's a hot link. So if I click on this, I should bring up another tab and load it to the 1 hour, 20 minute, and 32 second mark of the video. That's exactly what I want, and that's exactly what we produced in the lecture on summarizing YouTube videos. Now, the next step is to create a shortcut from this. So now we have an option down here. Underneath the prompt, we have an option. We can do a number of things. We can edit the query, we can copy the query, or we can save the query as a shortcut. Okay, and that's exactly what I want to do. I'm going to click on this, and now it's asking me for a shortcut name. Now, it populates a name by default, so video-outline-timestamps with links. That's kind of a mouthful. I think what I'm just going to do is say, let's say YouTube video summary. I'll know what that is. Okay, so my shortcut now is going to be YouTube video. Well, I guess the standard here is to make it all lowercase, so I'm just going to make this lowercase, YouTube video summary. Now, here is the exact prompt that I entered. Okay, generate an outline of the video, blah, 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 and so on. Now, we have some advanced options that we could use if we wanted to, depending on what we're doing. So down here, I can determine, well, do I want to do a normal search? Do I want to do a deep search? Or do I want to get into labs? Okay, well, I don't want to do any of that. I just basically want to do, well, we're not even doing a search. We're just doing a summary. So that doesn't really apply. And then what model do I want to use? Sonar. Now, Sonar, as I mentioned, is one of Perplexity's internal models that it built. So it's not an Anthropic model, it's not an OpenAI model, it's not a DeepSeek model, and so on. It's one of its own. Or Claude Sonnet or Sonnet GPT, blah blah blah. I'm gonna let the browser and Perplexity decide which model to use, because it knows, and I've mentioned this before, based on what we want to do, it knows what AI model should be called to accomplish that. So I'm going to leave this set at best. And then sources, this doesn't really apply here. And these are standard Perplexity search options. You can search the web, you can search academic papers, you can search social, which can be quite useful. If you want to get, for example, a tone on what people think of Comet, just go to Reddit. Go to Reddit or Discord, and you'll get an idea of what people think of Comet or other products like Lovable that I use a lot, or whatever the case might be. That doesn't really apply here. So I'm just going to save this, and now we have a message that says it did say shortcut created, manage shortcuts. Okay, so now we have a brand new shortcut.